Hello and welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to read the book called The Rock in the Cave by KiKee. Hey, that's me. And it is from the Safe Haven collection of stories that I have available on Amazon and Kindle and through my website at KiKee'sCorner.com. That's KiKee'sKorner.com. Dedication. To all the little ones, including those of us who will forever have a child inside of us. Sometimes life gets hard, and sometimes we don't understand what's happening. But God is always there for us when we choose to do our absolute best to live for Jesus, all the time and in every way. Will we always do everything perfectly? No, not always, but we can always choose to do our best, ask forgiveness if we mess up, and go on to do better. Written and illustrated by KiKee. Acknowledgements. I acknowledge the one who created me and inspired me to write this story. There once was a rock who lived in a dark cave with lots of other rocks. One day, someone broke through the thick stone walls into the dark cave. The sun shone through the opening into the cave and illuminated the cave with light. As the rock looked around the cave, it could see how all the other rocks sparkled and twinkled with all sorts of different colors. Suddenly, the cave was filled with lots of people, digging and picking out all the other rocks because they could easily see that the other rocks weren't simply rocks. They were all gems of all different kinds. But no one seemed to want this rock. When all the other rocks were gone, this rock was left all alone. The rock didn't understand why no one seemed to want it until it looked at itself and could see that it didn't sparkle or shine and barely had any glow at all. It was sad because it thought no one wanted it. It thought that it would be left all alone in the once rock-filled cave. Then one of the people took one last look around the cave to make sure every last gem had been taken. Just when the rock thought this last person was going to leave, the person noticed the rock and stopped to take a closer look. The person immediately started digging very carefully all around the rock until the rock was freed from the cave and could be taken out. With great care, the person carried the rock from the cave and took it home. Once the person got the rock home, the person started to clean all the dirt off. Then the person started to chip, chisel, and cut here and there. The rock was pushed against something spinning that made it feel hot and uncomfortable, and actually started to hurt a lot. The rock had thought it didn't want to be left all alone in the cave. But now the rock was wondering why it seemed the person was allowing things to happen that really hurt and caused it pain. Finally, the person stopped, rinsed it off in cool water, wiped and dried it, and then put the rock under the light. The light not only filled the rock with light, but then the light reflected out of the rock and filled the whole room with a warm, sparkling glow. The rock had never shone and sparkled so brightly before. Suddenly it realized that it had been a diamond all along, the most valuable and strongest jewel there is. Before the rock was cleaned and polished, it had looked only at its surface. It saw only the dirt and rough edges. It had never looked beyond the way it looked on the outside, but the person took the time and care to see past what it could see on the outside and saw the value on the inside. And that's sometimes the way life is. Things will happen that may cause us hurt and pain, and we may not understand why these things happen. But if we trust it all to Jesus and let Him work, when He is done, we will see what He saw in us all along, the diamond He designed us to be. God wants us to know just how truly valuable we are and the strength we are able to have with Him. When we choose to live for Jesus, He will never leave us all alone. God's promises to us. In the Bible, in Romans 8:28, it says God causes all things to work together for good when we love God and have chosen to live the life He created us to live. This means good will come out of even what seems bad when we make choices that Jesus wants us to make. The Bible also says in Philippians 4:13 that we can do all things God wants us to do, even the tough stuff, when we allow Jesus to give us strength and help us. And in Joshua 1:9, Joshua is told by God to be strong and courageous. God tells him not to tremble or be dismayed, for the Lord our God is with him wherever he goes when he does what He wants him to do. This means that no matter what happens, live for God. Be brave. Do what's right, even when it looks scary. And God will be with you, too. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Once again, it's available on Amazon Kindle and through my website at KiKee'sCorner.com. KiKee'sKorner. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.